Welcome to enNovo Radio, your place to gather insight and wisdom for creating healthy organizations. Discover how to uncover defects in your organization and find ways to be a powerful force of change for your organization. Here's your host, David Phillips.
Hello and welcome to this episode of enNovo Radio. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great Christmas holiday and hope that things are going well for you in the beginning of the new year. I was reading through my copy of Harvard Business Review for January and February 2019 and ran across this article by the CEO of SurveyMonkey. Now, if you don't know what SurveyMonkey is it's an application, a website that allows you to, among other things, create surveys, do forms. It has analytics built around it and the ability to provide your customers and your employees ways to communicate with you and share their thoughts on a wide variety of topics. And it's a good company. I've used SurveyMonkey in the past and think pretty highly of their software. And so it was the CEO, whose name is, hold on, it has escaped me at this moment. Let me look real quick. Zander Lurie. SurveyMonkey has worked hard to try to create a culture of curiosity. And so that piqued my curiosity. That was the gist of the article. The idea of the article is that SurveyMonkey has created a culture of curiosity. And so what I wanted to do is, so I read the article thinking, well, what does that look like? And really, what is a culture of curiosity? And as I read the article, part of it really talked about the idea of creating a learning culture and a learning organization. And I thought they have done a really good job. SurveyMonkey has of creating this culture of curiosity. And I kind of wanted to share some of the insights that I found from this article and kind of share that with you so that maybe as you're looking at your organization, you're looking at your business, you can see the areas where you need to maybe increase your level of curiosity, increase the level of curiosity among your employees and among your stakeholders, including your vendors and your customers. So let's kind of, one of the things that the author does is he begins to talk about the behaviors of curiosity. He said that they did a survey, being a SurveyMonkey, with their employees and their customers, and that what it revealed, that the behaviors that define curiosity were prevalent among SurveyMonkey's best customers and its best employees. And so I thought that was fascinating that we have defined the behaviors that exhibit curiosity. And as I look over them, it kind of reminds me of my 5-year-old. No joke. So here are the characteristics of people who are curious, or behaviors of people who are curious. They ask good questions. They listen deeply. Okay, my 5-year-old doesn't necessarily do that, but they listen deeply. They are open-minded. My 5-year-old. Okay, I take that back. They're open-minded. They value new experiences. My 5-year-old loves that. They challenge the status quo. And they have this underlying belief and underlying behavior that not everyone has all the right answers or has all the answers, that there are answers out there that have not been discovered or that can be modified, that can be things can be adapted and changed. And I thought those were really good behaviors of people who exhibit a high level of curiosity. And so, the thing that you have to do when you want to create a culture of high, where people have a high level of curiosity, is you have to be very humble and you have to be very open to being put on the spot, because good questions will do that to you, and not having all the answers will do that to you. It will humble you. It will put you on the spot. You might have to walk around answers. You might have to say, I don't know. You might have to say, I'll get back with you, and actually do that. There's so much, it creates a level of vulnerability within the person who is leading that organization or leading that department. But it is I think it's a helpful scenario, especially when you begin to look at millennials in the workforce, because they have now passed Gen X as the most numerous in the workforce at over 56 million employees or workers. So those characteristics put a lot of pressure and put a lot of vulnerability and a lot of relationality onto the leader. So you got to be open to that. I've worked at organizations where these kinds of behaviors were not approved of. In fact, I had a job where I always had the meeting before the meeting with my direct boss, because so that we could have any questions asked and answered, so that when we went into the meeting with the big boss, we knew all that we needed to know and didn't need to ask questions, because if we asked questions, you never know what you were going to get. There was a lack of consistency and the lack of openness and transparency there. So I think these are very good characteristics and behaviors to have. You just have to be prepared for it as a leader. Now, SurveyMonkey, the CEO of SurveyMonkey, laid out some things that helped them in creating this culture of curiosity, and I kind of wanted to mention those and talk about those for a second. One of the things that they did is they rewarded curiosity-oriented behaviors. So one of the things they do is they have a question of the week. They have a big town hall meeting, and they always recognize the best questions that come from their employees and their customers. And I think that's a good thing. So behavior that is rewarded gets repeated. Doesn't matter what it is. What gets celebrated gets repeated. And so they work hard to reward curiosity-oriented behaviors. That's how I interpreted their actions. And it wasn't just questions of the week. There were other things that they did, but that's one of the things that they did. The second thing that the CEO does is he says, I often have a skip-level meeting with the reports of my direct reports to listen to them. And so I see that as just being able to listen to others besides your direct reports, to get out in the field and talk with the employees, talk with the people who are doing the work and who are working hard for your company and pushing things forward. Spend time with them, ask questions, and listen to them. The third thing is to bring in training from outside the department or outside the company, not only for your employees' sake, but for yours. The CEO talks about bringing in leaders from various industries and backgrounds to see what made them successful. They brought in everyone from Serena Williams on what it takes to win in tennis, to electronic arts, Andrew Wilson on how to build a culture of customer centricity. And so he brings these people in. They have a town hall. Anybody can join. He asks questions. The CEO asks questions, and everybody gets to learn. And so it shows that humility that is required to be a learner. And it allows people to ask questions. It allows people to learn. So bring in training or bring in people from the outside to coach and mentor the team. I think that's huge. The fourth thing that I extrapolated from this article is that you need to improve your diversity. Make sure you have diversity within your organization. He said their CEO board has, our board of directors, he says, consists of 5 women and 5 men. 5 of the 11 of our senior executive team are women. Women make up about half the company, including our CTO and many of our engineers. And I think that's important from a racial diversity, ethnic diversity, gender diversity. Make sure you have diverse group of people, diverse backgrounds. And when you do that and people begin to be curious about each other, then that kind of leads to being curious about other aspects of the company, why things are done, and how they can make them better. The fifth thing that the CEO of SurveyMonkey describes is discovering what matters to people. So, and I thought this was a huge one. Now, your company may not be huge like SurveyMonkey. It might not have the capital, the resources, or the influence as SurveyMonkey, but listen to what they did. He says that our company spends millions of dollars a year on benefits. To make sure that spending aligns with what employees really value, we do surveys about what benefits matter most to them. In one of those surveys, an interesting theme emerged. Like most other companies, we have contractors and vendors, including people who clean our offices and those who prepare the great food in our dining area. We see them every day, but they aren't actually SurveyMonkey employees. Some of our employees expressed concern that these team members didn't have benefits comparable to ours. We began working with the companies that employ them to make their benefits package more comparable. We wouldn't have thought to engage on this issue if not for our employees' curiosity and concern. And so I think that's a fabulous way to utilize the curiosity of your employees and to show that what is important to them matters to you. And if they can be curious about these things and can share those curiosities, share what they've learned with you, and you can act upon that, then that reinforces their curiosity and allows them to have influence and allows them to be drivers within the organization. Fellowship is just as important as leadership. And then the sixth thing was to simply survey staff and stakeholders. Just spend some time getting to know what's important to them. Just spend some time getting to know your employees and your stakeholders, your vendors, your contractors, your customers. Because the more you can know about them, the more you're able to make better products, to offer things that are needed within your organization to your employees, to figure out ways how to work with your vendors better, what's going on in their world. and just makes an overall a more healthy organization. So just a few thoughts from the Harvard Business Review article on creating a culture of curiosity from SurveyMonkey. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of enNovo Radio. Be well, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of enNovo Radio. I really do appreciate it. If you want to take some time, I'd really appreciate it if you could go over to iTunes and maybe give a review if you like it. If you don't do that. Also, you can sign up for our newsletter at wdavidphillips.com, and you can find me on Facebook as well. Look forward to interacting with you. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening in today, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode of Powerful Insight. For more up-to-date information and tips to help you on your quest for change, head over to the website at www.wdavidphillips.com and sign up for our newsletter.